So let's scroll up here a little bit and just continue what we started, right? So here, a little bit more above in line 10, we use the SQL server. Now let's get started what we have learned in the last presentation about the connection string. So let's write one down here. You can later on place the connection string somewhere else, but for now we keep it simple, write it down here. So data source is equals to, let me just zoom in a little bit. Data source is equals to localhost, right? So my local machine, the computer I'm sitting in front of, 1433. Next up, we can also write everything down in one string, right? But we can also concatenate them. Let's go ahead and database equals to flights. Again, semicolon. Next one, user ID. It has to be exactly written down like this, so it's case sensitive and everything. So don't write it together. Use user space ID exactly like this. And password equals to 1234 secret. And there we go. So this is just defined by us, right? We can also go ahead and use a different user ID and password for sure. Awesome. So this is what we have right now. We have that use SQL server inside of the options. So we use the options, and inside of the options, we define the SQL server with a specific connection string. Okay, so now we need to pay attention, because when we first of all save something to the database, we got that here. Here we get our flights, which we want to add, right? So here we use entities, and we grab that entities from our service scope. So what that means is actually entities is our database. So entities.database, let's make sure that it is created. So ensure created, right? Use that method and see, ensures that the database for the context exists. So it only makes sense to save something to the database and to not get any errors if we make sure that the database even is existing. Great. So that's the first thing that we have additionally to add. Now scroll up again and you can see that service lifetime singleton here, right? We use that for our in-memory database, but for a SQL server, we don't need that. So remove the service lifetime of the database, right? So as I said, we had to share a single instance of the entities class to all requests just because we used the in-memory database. Now we don't want to share transactions across all requests when we persist that data in a SQL database. Great. So once we shut down the application, our database is not gone. So this is where we don't have to use this lifetime anymore. Let's talk about that a little bit more in detail now.